Hey guys, welcome back to your Draftstars picks here with NRL Fantasy Analysis. Got 3 games here on your Super Saturday between the Warriors, the Raiders, the Dogs, the Roosters, and the Eels and the Cowboys. And my strategy in this one is probably going for a few more of the outside backs on the Roosters side of things and probably picking a higher scoring game in the Warriors and the Raiders and probably a fairly even contest, but I think a few of those, the 1 to 7 can score really well in that game as well, and probably a little bit of a back and forth one in the Eels Cowboys. So that's the way I'm thinking about it, and the way my picks will go as well. So I think Ted could go pretty well again this week. James Tedesco with a 74.2 last week. It felt like he was back. He ran for a lot of meters and was really involved. And up against a dog side that hasn't been that great. Defense has been okay, but ability to score tries and build pressure hasn't really been there. So I think Tedesco can really step up and dominate. If you want to spend that little bit extra cash on an outside back this week, I think that's your man at 20,700. A little bit lighter there. I think this is the game that Reese really steps up and dominates. He's had 2 games over 50 this year, and I think that this week will be another one of those games. Up against Canberra, I really think the Warriors can come out and possibly win this one. And I think Walsh is going to be a big candidate for some big points in this game. If you want to go a little bit lighter now, I think you're going to go for Jesse Arthurs at 10,830. Again, for the Warriors, he came up with 2 really low scores last week. So again, he's definitely someone who could make or break your game here, but a 64.2 and a 51. If you get that from him this week on the outside of Shaun Johnson, I think he could do really well for your side at that price. A little bit lighter there. We've got a couple of guys at Joseph Sawali at 9,720 there. And coming off a 31.6, he played a lot better last game than he has in his short time in the NRL so far. And I think he has the opportunity to get somewhere in that 30s again and potentially a try. And that's all he really needs, a try, a few good runs, and he could get in the 30s there for sure. And then just the last one there is Haze Parham at 9,000. If you want to get all the way down to that cheap price point there's a decent chance that the Eels can beat the Cowboys comfortably, or it's going to be a fairly close game, maybe a close Parramatta win. So I think either way, they're going to score enough points for him to be involved in some type of play, whether it's a nice line break down the outside or he manages to score a try at $9,000 there. I don't think you're taking too much of a risk to pop him in your side. All right, we move to the halves and the hookers, and Mitch Moses at 22,480 is definitely the clear option there, along with Tom Starling. So with Mitchie, you see what he can do when they are winning games, and if you think that they can beat the Cowboys, by 10 plus or so, then I think that Moses is probably one to plug and play in your side. Obviously, in this game, we got a few expensive guys here in Papali'i, these types of players. You just got to pick the one that you think is going to do the best, obviously, and how that works in terms of the value in each position. Tom Starling as well at 20,640. Since he's moved to the 80-minute role, he's got a low score of 55.5 there. So at that 20,640, anything above that 55 is going to be value for you. And Starling is going to be fairly consistent in this sort of area there in this price point. Plenty of tackles. He's has the opportunity to score some attacking stats as well against the Warriors. So up to you whether you want to go with Tommy Starling. And the only one I'd potentially personally go for in this group is going to be Shaun Johnson. So he drops a little bit in price after a couple of lower scores, but I think they come up against a slightly easier team this week. They lost 70-10 last week against the Storm. So it only gets a little bit easier here against Canberra. And if he gets a try, assist or 2 to go along with his kicking in general play, I think he can get anywhere above that 46 that he had 4 weeks ago there, and could be of value in your squad. I move to the forwards here to round out this video here, and we've got a lot in here, so probably thinking of using potentially one of your flex players as one of the forwards if you're doing this whole the 3-game slate here. Otherwise, the individual matchups might be a little bit different, but Isaiah Papali'i has been absolutely incredible. You get a low score of him of 54.4, and if he gets that, you're kind of breaking even, and anything above that in the 60s, 70s is going to be gravy for you. And he could definitely score a try against a young outside back, whether it's Harlem Lukey or a Tommy Gilbert on that left edge defense. And him at that most expensive price point is the one to go for. If you want to go a little bit lower with Jason Tamalolo as well at 19,690, that last 4 weeks he's been incredible with a low of 53.9. So you're definitely getting some value if you go with Jason there up against the Parramatta Eels, where he needs to step up and probably average around that 200 meters, get a few tackle breaks, a few offloads there for your side. All right, so a little bit lighter now at 15,000 And 130 is Satili Tupanua. And he's had a really, really good run. So a 44.4 low in his last 4. So if you can get anywhere above that, you're going to be getting plenty of value out of him. And he has an opportunity to score a try against that left edge of the Bulldogs defense. So definitely a strong option for your side heading into this round. 2 guys just below him, Jazz Tavanga. He gets the 13 roll to himself, and we know what he can do in those type of games. You see a 52 and a 53.9. He's pretty close to my must-have this week against Canberra. He even has the opportunity to get some attacking stats as well. But his work ethic in big minutes in the middle of the field is second to none. So he's someone that needs to be a centre point in your side, I think. Ryan Sutton getting the start again, and you see what he can score over the 3 games, and one of them was off the bench. So a 52 last week. I think he can emulate somewhere between that 40 to 55 there, and again be a really, really good option in that game if you're going for a middle forward. So Ryan Sutton, a great option there as well. But the big must-have out of all of this, Maxi King, he gets the starting 13 role this week with Josh Jackson out with COVID. So Maxi should be able to play bigger minutes than what he has and get at least a minimum of a 40 plus. With potential to go up to 60 or 70 if he plays really big minute, like Josh Jackson type of minutes. So Maxi, a must-have this week, but I've spoke about him most weeks as being a guy that we should be looking to pick up in our sides. 2 more to go, guys. And Hylam Lukey for the Cowboys. We're not sure at this point if he's going to be starting or if he's on the bench, but at this point, starting if we're going with that. But Todd Payton changes it very regularly. But 50 minutes off the bench last week, still managed to score really well and get a try. I wouldn't be banking on him scoring a try at all times, and obviously up against the Parramatta Eels this time. And on the left, he'll be up against Isaiah Papali'i, who's a really, really good defender as well. So don't expect the world from him this week, but definitely an option to think about at a really cheap price. And the last one there is this Adam Elliott, who has got the start as well. And obviously had a really good game last week. Well, a decent game for a $10,000 player at 38.7. So if you can get that or better this week, which I think he can, then he would be a decent option as well. So definitely in that Raiders and Warriors game, some cheeky options between 10,000 and 14,000 there. So there you go, guys. That's the video for the Saturday night games. Good luck with your teams tonight. If you're playing multiple as well, that would be cool. If you're playing all the individual ones, I wish you all the best of luck and enjoy the rest of your weekend.